Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha.
Device is ready to pair.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Sri Caitanya Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Caitanya Namani Gauratvishe Namaha. Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Caitanya Namani Gauratvishe Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, you are all welcome. We are today
Hare Krishna, Prabhu,
Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, Dandavad.
Happy to see you again.
Haribol, I will be with you at least
Hare Krishna,
over a month.
Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I am Rajendra Nandan Das.
Oh, but I was thinking if we can break in groups, is it possible you can do that, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, welcome you all. We are starting today one of the most important subject matter for our personal practice in devotional service. Actually, what we are doing as a devotees, that we will really, when we study this section of the subject, we will examine ourselves what we are doing. I think mute everybody now.
Haribol Prabhuji,
Yes.
the voice is reverberating, the resounding.
Is my resounding or some other mics are open?
No, because others are not muted. That's why.
Yeah, every should be muted now. Brajendra, mute now. When we course ask, then it can be unmuted. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So, we are starting today only one side of the ocean of devotional, say nectar of devotion. Only one side of ocean of nectar of devotion. And our curriculum is 19 first chapter only. It's called Eastern Wave. Sir, Eastern side. So, the book which we are studying is Nectar of Devotion, which is summary study by Srila Prabhupada of the very celebrated book of Srila Rupa Goswami called Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu. So everybody must know this word, Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu. This is the original title of the book, and Srila Prabhupada has given the name Nectar of Devotion. Nectar of Devotion. Is it okay? Now, today we will discuss actually preface which is not in a Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is not part of Srila Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is the preface by Srila Prabhupada himself. An introduction is sort of his preface to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So today we will discuss preface only. Is it okay? Now, so what is the book we are going to study today?
The Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Right. Nectar of Devotion of Srila Prabhupada, which is summary study of
Bhakti
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of Srila Rupa Goswami.
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Right. So Nectar of Devotion, the complete science of Bhakti Yoga, a summary study of Srila Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Is it okay? You will get all these, I hope. You got these slides, or you will get now the PPTs?
Got Prabhuji received.
You got it?
No, I posted the slides in the group.
Okay, they are. Okay. So now we are going to preface. And if you see, preface is written by Srila Prabhupada in LA in 70, April 1970. Okay, this is in the preface now. This has 3 sections. In a preface, we have 3 sections. Brief history of what? Brief history of Srila Rupa Goswami and his meeting with Lord Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And number 2, the most important subject matter in a middle section is meaning of the term Bhakti Rasa Amrit Sindhu. And the last section is Krishna consciousness is the perfection of loving propensity. The subject is everybody has a loving propensity, and what is the perfection of that? And Krishna consciousness is the perfection. So today we will discuss in preface these 3 subject matters. Now you open our book and see, I'm just starting reading the Nectar of Devotion, a summary study of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which was written in Sanskrit by Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Now Srila Prabhupada is writing one line. He was the chief of the 6 Goswamis, who were the direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the chief of the 6 Goswamis. So who are the 6 Goswamis?
Shri Rup Sanatan,
Raghunath Das, and Jiva, and Govardhan.
If you turn the page, one page before preface, then you will get the 6 Goswami of Vrindavan. Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghu Yugao Sri Jiva Gopalako. This is do you have in your book, you have this in the beginning? Nana Shastra Vicharine Kay Nipuno Sadharma Sanstapiko. So these are the 6 Goswami. He is the leader of the 6 Goswami. How is that? The elder one is Sanatana Goswami, right? And Srila Rupa Goswami consider him as not only elder but his own guru also. He consider him as guru as well. So in Nectar of Instruction, in a preface, do you remember something Srila Prabhupada has written? Our Krishna conscious movement is conducted under the direction of
Rupa Goswami.
It is there, written there, right?
Yes, Guru.
Yeah, Rupa Goswami.
Yeah. So, and in our preface we will find one word that is called Rup Anoga. What is called? Rupa Anoga. Followers of Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami is head of the 6 Goswami, and we are called Rupa Goswami, and the 2 of the Pranam mantra of our Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada and Bhakti Vinod Thakur has Rupanoga word in that. Rupanoga Varayate. Best among the Rupanogas. And we are called Rupanogas. And in ISKCON we are also Prabhupada Anoga. So how is Srila Rupa Goswami chief? Srila Prabhupada, he was the chief of the 6 Goswamis, and they are the direct disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Though Jiva Goswami was a child when Mahaprabhu went there. So how he is chief? By his identity in Krishna Leela. What is the identity of Srila Rupa Goswami in Krishna Leela?
Rupa Manjari.
Rupa Manjari.
Rupa Manjari. And Rupa Manjari is the principal assistance of Rupa Manjari. Rupa Manjari is principal assistance of
Radharani.
Lalita Sakhi.
Lalita Sakhi.
Lalita Sakhi.
Lalita Sakhi.
And Lalita Sakhi is foremost of Srimati Radharani's Sakhi. So, because of this intimate relation of Srila Rupa Goswami with Lalita Sakhi and Lalita Sakhi with Srimati Radharani, our connection with Radha Krishna is through Rupa Goswami. Therefore, he is one of the chief of the 6 Goswamis. Is it clear now? It's okay? Everybody understood this?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Now, when he first met means actually when he first met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Rupa Goswami, and actually both brothers met, but since the Prabhupada is speaking history of Srila Rupa Goswami, so he's saying first Srila Rupa Goswami met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was engaged as a minister in the Mohammedan government of Bengal of Nawab Hussain Shah. So Rupa Goswami was finance minister. Now Srila Prabhupada is writing a cultural history of that time. If anybody who is from higher caste like a Brahman or Kshatri, if he was serving Muslim rule, then they were considered outcast. untouchable. And they were, Srila Prabhupada, they were ostracized. They were driven out from the Vedic culture. So these both brothers were actually belonging to very highly situated Saraswat Brahman community of South India. Saraswat Brahman community of South India. But since they were working for Nawab Hussain Shah, they were considered outcast. And their two names are given, which were given according to their title in one way, Dabir Khas and Sakir Malik. Where the word Ace comes, it is Sanatan Goswami. And what Dabir Khas is Rupa Goswami, and Sakir Malik is Sanatan Goswami. These were the name given to Santosh. Rupa was Santosh. Sanatan was Santosh. I think his name was Santosh. And Shri Rupa is Rupa. But their names were changed in a Muslim rule. And this was very common at that time. So what happened? Now this is the history. Now Srila Prabhupada is, what Srila Prabhupada is writing right from in this line. It is the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. From here till the second para, there is one principle. This is called Lord Chaitanya's universal principle. Lord Chaitanya's principle is universal. It means Lord Chaitanya's universal principle. So what is that principle? This is the subject matter you should understand now. So in the brief history we have, who is Rupa Goswami, by the way. Now I have put the another slide. Who is Rupa Goswami? He is one of the chief disciples.
Chief of the
Yeah, he is one of the chief. He's
Chief
one of
of
the
the sixth Goswami,
yes.
the direct disciples of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Mahaprabhu.
And then you can see he met when he was a minister, and his name was Dabir Khas. Though he was Saraswat Brahman, they were considered outcast by their religious system. That we have done now. Now what we are discussing, what is Lord Chaitanya's universal principle? Now we are discussing this subject matter. And that is, he accepted these two exalted personalities as his disciples. Though the traditional caste Hindus have considered them outcasts, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted them as his disciples and raised them to the position of the Goswamis, the highest position of the Brahminical culture. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya accepted Haridas Thakur as his disciple, although Haridas happened to be born in a Mohammedan family. And Lord Chaitanya later on make him the Acharya of holy name. Hare Krishna, full mantra. Now, the Lord Chaitanya's principle is universal. What is Lord Chaitanya's universal principle? This is the example just we read. But the definition is, anyone who knows the science of Krishna Number one, sign who knows the signs of Krishna. And number two, engage in service of the Lord, is accepted as being in a higher position than a person born in a family of Brahman. So this is the universal principle. Is it clear to everybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please repeat once again.
It is in the second para. Can you see rightly? You open your book and see the second para. Anyone who knows the signs of Krishna, number one, and number two, engage in the service of the Lord Sri Krishna, is accepted as being in the higher position than the person born in a Brahmanical family. So two things: anybody who knows the science of Krishna and practice devotional service to Krishna is considered higher than the one who is born in Brahman family but is not doing anything. That is the original. Now Srila Prabhupada is giving evidence that this is not only Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's universal principle. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. So this principle must be in the scripture also. And the scripture given by Krishna is Bhagavad Gita. And this principle is in Bhagavad Gita. And this principle is also in this principle is accepted in Srimad Bhagavatam. So anybody can guess where is in Bhagavad Gita this principle is accepted.
Prabhuji, is it Sunicheva Svapaki Cha Pandita Samadarshana?
It's okay, but it's not exactly. Well, I'm giving hint, it is in the 4th chapter. Yes.
Yogi Nam Api Sarvesha?
That is in 6th chapter.
4.34?
4 point, maybe 11, 12. I'm just giving you a hint. In this range, maybe between 10 and 14, something like that.
Yes, Prabhu, where Prabhupada is telling the best welfare work about the devotee.
Chatur varanyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagacha. Guna and karma, not by janm.
Yes.
By the modes of material nature and by the action. Not by birth.
13.
Yeah.
4:13, Prabhuji.
Right. Anyway, I just gave you a rough idea where it is.
Yes.
And in Bhagavatam, if somebody asks you, give the evidence, how can you give evidence? Prabhupada has just written on, not given much information. Narad Rishi was a maid servant's son, but he was accepted by the great Bhakti Vedants, and he became a great exalted devotees, right? No? And a good vivid example I generally always quote is, do you remember in Bhagavatam Rishabdev? Anybody knows Rishabdev, and he has 100 sons?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Rishabdev and his 100 sons. This is the 5th canto. He has 100 sons, right?
Yes, yes.
The eldest son's name is Maharaj Bharta.
Bharata.
By after his name, the whole continent is called, this earth is called Bharatvarsh, that which is surrounded by the salty ocean. The tract of the land which is surrounded by the salty ocean is called Bharatvarsh, after the name of Maharaj Bharat, the son of Rishabdev. Out of his 100 sons, 81 become Karmakand Brahman, 9 become great Yogeshwar, and 10 become the great Kshatriya rulers. One father and his sons, some are Brahmins, some are Kshatriyas, and some are Goswamis. They are called Nav Yogendra, 9 Yogendra. So this is according to the qualification. And also we can have other example in Bhagavatam. Is it okay? Is it clear? The principle of Lord Chaitanya's movement, now it's Lord Chaitanya's movement, which is also ISKCON movement. The principle, means universal principle of Lord Chaitanya's movement is educating and elevating. So educating means making them understand to know the science of Krishna consciousness. To educate the general interested people is to know the science of Krishna consciousness, which is equivalent to the education. And elevating everyone to exalted position of the Goswami means engaging in devotional service. And this is actually taught in the Nectar of Devotion. So what is in the Nectar of Devotion? Education and elevation to sincere devotees to the level of Goswami, which means the one who controls the senses. So can you correlate these two words, science of Krishna consciousness, engaging in service, and educating and elevating? They are equivalent. Is it okay?
Yes, yes.
All right. So now we have covered in brief history two things. Who is Rupa Goswami? What is Lord Chaitanya's universal principle? Now, how did Rupa Goswami and Sanat Goswami join Lord Chaitanya? So this is the third paragraph. Well, I'm just suggesting that in your book, there are two ways. Either you can mark on the book itself in the corner, or put a sticker small and write on that, this portion is history, this portion is universal principle, this portion is this. That will be very easy for your future reading. Maybe after 6 months if you read, then you will understand. Otherwise everything will mess up. So in your book you note if you are used to, or else you have small stickers and you stick there and write on that. That will be easy for you to, because this is summary, because it's summary study. So actually it's not very easy to understand. Because Srila Prabhupada, traditionally he wrote the Sanskrit words, word to word meaning, translation and purport. That is very easy to follow. But this is actually summary study. So Prabhupada wrote actually what is Srila Rupa Goswami's original work, and then he gave the commentaries of the previous two acharyas, Srila Jiva Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and then he gave his own commentary. So all is mixed in this. So Lord Chaitanya met the two brothers. Dabir Khas is Rupa Goswami and Sakar Malik is Sanatana Goswami. Where he met? In a Ram Kelly in district of Malada, which is in Bangladesh now. And after that meeting, the brother decided to retire from government service and join Lord Chaitanya. This is the power of meeting a pure devotee. Though here the pure devotee is acting as a pure devotee, but he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. So when powerful devotees meet somebody, this is the one example. The other example is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Ramanand Rai. He was the governor of the South India. And then he requested, please you retire and come and join with me in Jagannath Puri. We will discuss Krishna Katha. And he retired. And these two brothers, they were the great ministers. They retired everything after meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is actually power of a potent preacher. That he changes the life. He brings them near to Krishna. Immediately. And they wanted to retire immediately. Dabir Khas later become Rupa Goswami. Is that Ammar and Santosh? I think their name was Ammar and Santosh.
Santosh is Rupa Goswami and Amar is Sanatana Goswami.
Yeah, Santosh and Ammar were their original names. So Santosh is Rupa Goswami.
Rupa Goswami and
Ammar was
Sanatana is Amar.
Yeah, you are referring a particular. Definitely.
Yes, Prabhu. We started in the Nectar of Instruction. Prabhuji told us.
Okay. Son of Amar and Santosh, right? Okay. Anyway, by mixing is no problem. So now Srila Prabhupada is discussing something. When they retired, they had a huge amount of golden coin, a full boat of golden coin. Srila Rupa Goswami has that. And now Srila Prabhupada is establishing a principle. For devotees, specifically, and for the general public, generally. That the word written here, he divided the money in a very exemplary manner, which should be followed by the devotees in particular and the humanity in general. And what is this exemplary way? His saved money, 50% he distributed among the Vaishnavas and Brahmans who were engaged in preaching work of Krishna consciousness. 25% he kept for the family and 25% for emergency. Now this rule appears little difficult, but it is not difficult. Think like this. When they retire, it means whatever they wanted, not wanted, but whatever was needed as expenses during their life, that was already met. So I will say it like example, if I am earning 10,000 rupees a month, my family expenses is say 7,000 a month, then I am saving 3,000 a month. Out of the 3,000, 1,500 I must give for the charity. And 750 I must keep for emergencies. And 750 for the relatives going in marriage or some other emergencies or some other things. So it doesn't mean that out of 10,000 you have to give 5. Because this principle is whatever was earned. The word used here is exactly accumulated saving. It's called saving. It means all the expenses were already met. Is it now? Does it sound okay? Hare Krishna. Somebody can comment on this.
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, yes.
It's very clear.
When we say like give 50%, that people will be actually unconscious. How can they 50%? Because more than 50 is maintenance actually. So it is actually what is saving. Then there is no problem. Then it is practical. So this section says this one. Okay, then Rupa Goswami retired voluntarily and there was no hindrance. But when Sanatana Goswami wanted to retire, the Nawab Hussain Shah put him in a prison. But Sanatana Goswami used the money which Rupa Goswami kept for emergency with a grocer, banker, local banker. Local bankers are means not government bank but local grass banker. He used the money to give to the jail superintendent and he released from there and he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this portion is about how they met and how they retired. Now actually what is coming in next paragraph, this is not a first meeting actually, this is the second meeting of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with Rupa Goswami. The first meeting was in Ramkeli when they were minister. Now after his retirement, by now you must know they were grastas. They were living with families. I think I read it definitely. They gave up everything because the family word is used. They left 25% for family. So now, second time, Srila Prabhupada writes, first time the Lord Chaitanya met at prayer. First time means after their retirement. Because second time, again, Rupa Goswami met with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Where?
Prayag.
Yeah, Prayag is first time Srila Prabhupada has written. Can you see Prayag is first time? Can you see this para, new para starting, para number 4? Let me tell you very simple way. The 3 meetings were between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami. First in Ramkeli, second in Prayag, and third in Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri, Rupa Goswami went to Jagannath Puri and met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. And there is this famous verse, Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam was actually when Jagannath Puri, in Jagannath Puri meeting. And this Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale, this verse is a meeting of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami in Jagannath Puri. And this meeting in Prayagraj, the Rupa Goswami recited one verse which is commonly we quote always. Rupa was not alone. He has his younger brother Anupam with him, the father of Jiva Goswami. Both came together and met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Prayagraj. So then this meeting in Prayagraj, which is called Allahabad, India, now it's again called Prayagraj. Well, there's a full story in Chaitanya Charitamrita about that, but specifically here it is written where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa Goswami. And the first I was just telling you the common verse. Sri Chaitanya, this is Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gauratveshe Namaha. This verse Rupa Goswami chanted himself when he was paying his prostrated obeisance to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he met at Prayagraj. You know this? Hare Krishna. Do you all know this?
Yes, Prabhuji.
No Prabhu.
So this is
No,
the
Prabhu.
so this is the verse recited by Rupa Goswami when he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Prayagraj. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa Goswami for 10 continuous days at a place called Das means 10. Ashwamedha Ghat. A ghat means the bank of Ganga. A specific place at the bank of Ganga. Like when you come Vrindavan, there's a Keshi Ghat. There's a Keshi Ghat. So there is a Das Ashwamedh Ghat, a place where 10 Ashwamedh sacrifices were performed earlier. So it's a very purifying. This place is still there. If you sometime visit Prayag, you can go and see that place.
Yes, Prabhuji, I am going to Prayag.
Then you go to the Das Ashwamedh Ghat, number 1, and number 2, there is a Veni Madhav temple which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited. It's called Veni Madhav.
Yes.
Triveni
I
Madhav.
I will definitely.
And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu crossed the Jamuna. On the other side, he went to the Ariel Gram. Where he met the very famous Sri Vallabhacharya. Sri Vallabh, where Rupa Goswami was with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, along with Anupam. That place is there. And also, we have our temple. ISKCON has a ISKCON Elava, say Prayagraj temple at the bank of Jamuna. And also they can show the place where Srila Prabhupada used to have his Prayag pharmacy. And the place Prabhupada got initiated in Prayagraj. This is also very good coincidence that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Srila Rupa Goswami in Prayagraj and Srila Prabhupada was instructed or initiated by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati in Prayagraj. It's a quite good and wonderful coincidence. And Srila Prabhupada taken the teaching of Rupa Goswami and all other Goswamis and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. So, this section is over. Now, these teachings were later on. Srila Prabhupada says in our teaching of Lord Chaitanya, there's a one chapter, teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami is a full chapter, which is actually a seed of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Later, Srila Rupa Goswami elaborated the teaching of reference, teaching of the references from various Lord and perform. Oh, what happened to my computer? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Recording in progress.
Hare Krishna, I'm sorry, I was disconnected for a while. I did not notice my computer battery was finished. Is it okay?
Hari Bol.
Yes, Prabhu.
So we are now reading the paragraph number 6 almost. Later Srila Rupa Goswami actually so later Srila Rupa Goswami elaborated the teaching of Lord Chaitanya with profound knowledge of revealed scripture and authoritative reference from various Vedic literature. And then what Srinivas Acharya, who has compiled the 6 Goswami Astakam, he has written in his prayers of the Goswami, they are all very learned scholars. And what is written earlier, this whole, before the authoritative literature, this is what is this verse in the beginning. Nana Shastra Vicharinika Nipuno. This is the verse. They were very expert in scrutinizingly understanding the scripture and taking the bhakti out of that. So this is what is written here. They were knowing the different languages. Well, I'm just giving a little more hint and then we are going further. Lord Chaitanya instructed Rupa Goswami at Dasaswamedh Ghat, scholarship of 6 Goswami, the Srinivas Acharya, Nana Shastra Vicharan Nipuno. I was telling one thing this time at Rupa Utsav, I quoted again, it was already told by one of our friends, Shri Dinamandhu Prabhu. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, knowing that these two Goswamis, particularly Rupa and Sanatan, they worked with the Muslim rulers and they were knowing the different languages, Arabic and Persian, and they were very expert politically to deal with them. And since the Vrindavan is very critical situated geographically between Agra and Delhi, which was the central ruling place of the Muslims. Their headquarters was Delhi, between Delhi and Agra. Since it was between Delhi and Agra, and these were the two experts to actually deal with them, and they were knowing the language. Therefore, they are very perfectly situated here, and they re-established the Vrindavan. Is it clear? Now we are going to the next topic. We are Rupanugas. Now see here, Srila Prabhupada writes, they means both. they not only both, they also means Jiva and others also. They this day I am reading, they is from here. They very scrutinizingly studied all the Vedic scripture in order to establish the Bhakti movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's called cult, Chaitanya cult. On the authorized principle of Vedic knowledge, the present Krishna conscious movement is also based on the authority of Srila Rupa Goswami. So Srila Prabhupada has written in Nectar of Instruction and also Nectar of Devotion that our movement is based on Srila Rupa Goswami's authority. Their direction, here authority. And we are therefore called the Rupa Anogas, or followers of the footsteps of Rupa Goswami, Prabhupada. It is only for our guidance that Srila Rupa Goswami prepared this book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is now present in the form of Nectar of Devotion, which means a person engaged in the Krishna conscious movement may take advantage of this great literature. So now we have understood Rupa Goswami. Why did Rupa Goswami prepare Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? Here only there is a one line. There is more in a next slide. If I don't want to say now, but at the end of this section we will see why did Srila Rupa Goswami prepare Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, to whom, for whom. Now our first portion of the preface is over, brief history. Now we are going to the second topic of the preface, and this is the second topic. Meaning of the term Bhakti Rasa Amrit Sindhu. Anybody has any
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sorry to interrupt
yes,
you.
any question?
Prabhu, it's written preface number 3, and the preface second was earlier, which we have discussed now.
Say again. There's a disturbance. Say again.
Yeah, here it is written preface 3 on the slide.
Prepare C. What C?
Preface 3.
Oh, preface 3 means slide number 3. So this is the slide. This is the slide of the preface number 3. Slide number 3 on the preface. It means on the subject of preface, this is the third number slide. It doesn't mean the third subject. Slide number 3 of the preface. Because the next slide is called slide number 4. Say slide number 4. So this is about slide number. It means this PPT number 3 about preface. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhu, very good.
So now meaning of the term Bhakti Rasamrita. So there are 4 words, right? So Bhakti means devotional service. Amrit means 2 things, eternal and perpetual. And Sindhu means ocean. The most of the purport or most of the section is on Rasa, and some portion is on the Amrit. Ocean and devotion has not much description in the preface. Now we are discussing Rasa, which is most important. Everybody must understand the definition of Rasa. Srila Prabhupada said, well, this word Rasa cannot be translated in English. Actually, Rasa means juice. Like mango ras, mango juice, orange juice, that's called ras. Srila Prabhupada said our spiritual master has translated as a mellow. So we are using same thing as a mellow. So what is rasa? Say in the definition you read the attractive feature of or pleasure derived from any service which drives the servitor progressively on and on. It is kind of mellow, means rasa, because of relationship, whose taste is very sweet. This is the precise definition of rasa. And these are the exact word in our book. This next paragraph number 7 or whatever it is. Bhakti means devotion, and then every service has some attractive feature which drive the servitor progressively on and on. Can you see all these words? And from these words this definition is extracted. So by now you know ras means mellow, and this mellow is because of relationship, and these relationship have attractive feature and which gives pleasure, and because of that pleasure we do it again and again. This definition everybody must memorize, maybe in your own words. Now Srila Prabhupada, and the Amrit means Sindhu. Now the rest of this section, Srila Prabhupada is describing two types of rasa: mundane rasa and bhakti rasa. So now we are reading this section, then we will break for 10 minutes. You discuss amongst yourself what is the difference between the two rasas. Now Srila Prabhupada, now see in a book, if you go, every one of us within this world perpetually means because we get some taste, again some sort of service, and the impetus for such service is pleasure we derive from it. So the attractive feature are pleasure derived from any service, which drive the servitor, means the one who does service, progressively on and on, means do the same things again and again. Because why is doing? Because of mellow, because of rasa, taste, and because of relationship. And now Srila Prabhupada is speaking relationship. Driven by affection of the wife, relationship, children, family, men work and day and night. Philanthropists work for the same purpose, for the greater family. Love of the greater family means humanity. Nationalist also does like that for the country. Now these are the three examples given of the mundane rasa actually. That force which drives philanthropists, householder or nationalist is called rasa. That force is called rasa because it gives sweet taste, and because of relationship, or a kind of mellow relationship, whose taste is very sweet. That's what we have put here. Now bhakti rasa is a mellow different from ordinary rasa enjoyed by the mundane worker. Mundane worker labor hard day and night, relish some rasa for sense gratification, is called mundane rasa, does not long endure. And then Srila Prabhupada writes, what is the proof it was not long endeavor? Because businessmen work for 6 days, and he want to take a holiday on one Sunday and goes to hill station and just spend some time there. And then on the Monday again he want to go back to the work. So it is not enduring continuously. And in our devotional service, it's not that on Sunday we don't have a deity worship or we don't chant our rounds. Therefore the mundane rasa, the technical word used is bhog and tyag. Can you find these two words in the preface, bhog and tyag? You found these two words?
Yes, Prabhu.
Bhog means
Prabhu.
enjoyment, and tyag means renunciation. So they enjoy for 6 days, go one day out as for picnic as a renunciation, again come back. It's called, why they are doing bhog and tyag? The another word used is chapala sukha. Can you see the chapala sukha? The enjoyment by senses is temporary, so it's called chapala sukha. It's fulcring happiness. But because as soon as some dies, everything finished. So death take away everything. Now Srila Prabhupada is writing 2 lines of his own advice that death for the atheist, God comes in the form of death. And he takes away everything. And devotee realize the presence of God by devotional service, whereas atheists realize presence of God in the shape of death. After the death, he may not take same position. He may be elevated or he may be degraded. Now, the last part of this page. In any field of activity, political, social, national or international, the result of our action will be finished with the end of life. That is sure. Now we are going to the next page. Bhakti Rasa. This was the mundane rasa. However, the mellow, relished in transcendental loving service of the Lord does not finish with the end of life. It continues perpetually and therefore called Amrit. It continues perpetually. This is the meaning of the Amrit. Therefore it's called Amrit. And which does not die but exists eternally. This is the another meaning of Amrit, eternal. This is confirmed in all Vedic literature. Bhagavad Gita says, now which is this verse? Can somebody paraphrase? Some can guess this verse? Bhagavad Gita says. What Bhagavad Gita says? Little advancement in bhakti ras can save the devotee from greatest danger. You have done this verse.
देहा विक्रमनाशोस्ति प्रत्यवाक्यं कल्पमपि यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतोपयः.
Yeah, this is the verse from 2nd chapter. Verse number in this range of 40, 41 to something like that. So this is the verse quoted, right? So what actually you write here is verse quoted. You put a name, 2 point whatever 41 or whatever it is 42. That will stick in your mind if you put here, write that, okay? That of the missing the opportunity for human life. The rust drive from our feelings in social life, in family life, in the grid, in all these things, elitism, philanthropy, nationalism, socialism, communism, whatever it is. No guarantee for next life there will be human being. But so we prepare our next life by our actual activities in this life. Now in this section there is a word Daiva. And this is only how the second body is given to a soul under the direction of a Daiva, which means destiny. But there are two references given for Deva word, one from Bhagavad Gita and one from Bhagavatam. So this is not the verse you have read in your 6 chapters. This verse is from 18th chapter, and I think verse number 14 or 15. I think I posted this in your group. There are five doers of any work, and the Dev is the fifth one. So Bhagavad Gita, Dev is explained in Bhagavad Gita, prime cause of everything. This is in where is in Bhagavad Gita? 18? Anybody?
14.
14. I think I sent to you this.
14 and 15. 14.
Adhishtanam karta, karanam chesta, devam pancha. These are the words. Right. This is the verse, right?
Vividhascha pratak cheshta devam chaivaitra.
Right. Devam chaitra panchamam. And out of the five, Dev is the most important. That's what Prabhupada is quoted here. So also this you end right on the corner, 1814. What was the that was 2 Bhagavad Gita 241 or 42? Nihabi karma 40. And this Bhagavad Gita is 1814, right?
14.
It is better to write it because we may not remember. It is for reference. It's good at the end of the page. Now Srila Prabhupada writes out of the all by the Deva Nector, and Bhagavatam is a Deva Nector. This is in third canto of Bhagavatam.
331.1. 331.1, I think.
331 point Deva Netrena. This is about the actually how the soul comes in this material world. It's not that on a one particularly one sperm it comes. It is there's a whole description there. All right. So what is 330? 31? 331?
0.1.
1.
Karamana Deva Netra.
Karamana Deva Netra. Okay. All right. If our body at present is engaged in activities of Krishna consciousness, then it is guaranteed that we will have at least human body in next life. Okay, therefore, bona fide activities of Krishna consciousness are Amrit. So therefore, say, a human being engaged in Krishna consciousness, even if unable to complete the course of Bhakti Yoga, take birth in a higher division of the human society, so that he can automatically further the advancement in Krishna consciousness. This is also a quote from where?
From chapter 6 Bhagavad Gita. 6.
Yes.
6 minus 40, 39, 40, 41.
Unsuccessful yogis. Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Brishto Abhijayate Athva Yoginam Eva Kule Bhavati Dhimatam. Right. 6.40. 1 and 2. So, okay, right. Okay. So this is the subject matter of Nectar devotion. Eternal Bhakti understood the serious student of devotion, Bhakti Rasa, Krishna consciousness. Okay, now from here I think the third part, this eternal engagement Bhakti understood by citizen. Now we are breaking. I think already I would like to every day say within for first 50 minutes or so we can have a little break. That will be easy. And then the last section we will discuss after that. Now we are breaking in a group. Now you have to discuss what is the difference between the Bhakti Rasa and mundane Rasa or material Rasa among yourself. And then after say 10 minutes we will again join. Is it okay? Brajanandar, can you do that? Brajanandar Prabhu?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
You break them in groups. They have to discuss among themselves about the difference between the Bhakti Ras and the mundane Ras. Okay?
Yes, Prabhu. So then I'll split them into two groups then.
Not two. If you can make it now, how many students are there?
28 or 27, 26 are there.
26. If you can make, say, 5 groups, at least 5 means 5 in each at least, and 6 in one. 5 or 6 group will be better.
Okay, Prabhu. And then I'll name them as that Mundin Rasa and Bhakti Rasa.
Yeah, different. They have to discuss among themselves what is the difference between the two rasas.
Okay, Prabhuji. Then I'll make 4 groups then.
Okay, there will be big group anyway. Go do it, and then we'll do next time little more smaller groups. 4 is better.
Okay.
Sichong Chovisai. 4 or 6. We'll break them. Let us see how it works. Yes, you got it?
Yes, Prabhuji. I'm creating the rooms now.
Okay.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, everybody, please join the breakout rooms that have been assigned to you. You would have got an invite for that.
It's done? It's done?
Yeah, the breakout rooms are already created, Prabhu. Almost everybody is joined. Only 3-4 people are yet to join the group. I have just told them now.
Okay. Oh, Krishna Balaram.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Chitatma Prabhu, Nishant Prabhu and Kishore Prabhu, you need to join the breakout room. You would have got the invite. And also Don Mataji.
How can I enter in some group what they are doing?
Yes, Prabhuji, I will put you in one of the groups now.
Okay, let me see
Yes.
what's going on. Oh, Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, now I have assigned you to one group. You would have got an invite.
Bhakti, Rasa and Mohammedan Rasa.
We see in the material provided by the Prabhu yesterday, there is one slide for this Prabhu. Shall I share?
Don't look in slide. Do you discuss yourself? That is for you afterwards. Don't you work on your own.
Recording in progress.
Vrindavan, can I go in another room?
Prabhuji, do you want to join another room now or?
It is better I should just join because they are looking in the slides, not discussing anything on their own.
Okay, Prabhuji, I'll put you in another room now.
Okay.
Prabhu, I don't know anything.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Have you come up with something you have written about the difference between the two rasas?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
We identified the mundane rasa first.
Okay.
So, shall I tell it to you now, Prabhu?
Who else is with you in a group?
Sekar Prabhu, Neela Gopal Prabhu, and Ratnesh Prabhu.
Okay. How you are feeling? You are understanding what are the different rasas, what is mundane and what is devotional?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, very good.
And then therefore one can get everything is mentioned.
Okay, so this is good. So you are reading reading the whole and then coming to the
Reading the what, Prabhu?
And
you read the portion and got it.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Good. All right.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, is it the right understanding that mundane rasa is very flickering, and although we are attracted to this, it has a starting and end, and it causes only suffering. And spiritual rasa, bhakti rasa is, it is long lasting, which will revive our original constitutional position as a Krishna conscious person, and it will be attracted to the more service and more service, and it will be long lasting happiness. Is that the correct understanding, Prabhuji?
Yes, these two are three. There's some more also. Good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Recording in progress.
Hare Krishna. Are they back? No.
Yes, Prabhu, you are in the main room again.
They are here?
Yes, shall I bring everybody back to the main room?
Yeah, it is time is over, I think 10.
Sorry?
10 minutes are over.
Okay, Prabhuji, I will bring them back to the main room.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, are you back? Haribol?
Yeah, they will come in another 1 minute, Prabhuji.
Okay, 1 minute, all right. Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody is back, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, welcome. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So how was your experience? You
Oh,
li-
very good,
Very
Prabhu.
good.
you like discussion?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is your answer. Does it match what you have discussed? Mundane rasa, sense gratification, taste does not endure. Chapala sukha. Hence, position changes bhog and tyag. Number 2, ultimately interrupted by death. Number 3, does not guarantee human birth in next life. The Bhakti Rasa, on the other hand, can be relished perpetually, Amrit, continue even after death, guarantee at least the human birth in the next life. This is the conclusion. You reach to this, or you have some more thing to add into it?
Yes, Prabhu.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Now,
Can I ask a question, Prabhu?
yes. What is your question?
Okay. The thing is like Chapala Sutta. How we can translate Chapal? Because
Chappal doesn't
also
mean
mean shoe, right?
Chappal doesn't mean shoe. This is a Malaysian shushu. Shushu, drink shushu. Chappal means filtering, a transitory. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu.
It
Thank you.
is transient. It is very unstable. Now the next paragraph. This eternal engagement in Bhakti Rasa. This paragraph, the whole paragraph till the third portion, third our topic start. This is describing the other characteristics of Bhakti Rasa, further feature of the Bhakti Rasa. Can you see now on the screen? See on the screen. This section has these 7 components. Further features of Bhakti Rasa. So there are 3 already we have in comparison. Plus bring one to a life of auspiciousness, freedom from anxiety, transcendental existence. This is the first 4 lines. Then attract attention of the Supreme Lord. Produce feeling of liberation. Purifies one of all designation. This is the next page. This is actually definition of the devotional service. Senses become purified. When purified senses are engaged in the Lord's service, Bhakti Rasa can be relished perpetually. And there are 12 kind of rasas. 5 primary and 7 secondary. This we will discuss next time. So now, this is what is in this section, this paragraph. There is a lot more in the paragraph. that you can only relish when we read further at least 2-3 classes, then you can relish what actually it is. I am reading first line. The eternal the eternal engagement in Bhakti Ras can be understood by a serious student upon studying Nectar devotion. Adoption of Bhakti Ras free from anxieties, number one. This is the advantage. Free from anxieties and will bless with transcendent existence and his auspicious life. It's 3 things in the first line. What actually it is, now you don't know, and I don't want to confuse you now. But you remind me after 3-4 days, then you can actually know what is all this means. Why Srila Prabhupada has written all these things here. Next, Bhakti Rasa itself is sufficient to produce liberation. Minimize the value of liberation. This is also the effect of Bhakti. You will know after 3-4 days. You relish this then. We cannot know the God by present senses. Hanji. We cannot know the God by present senses, so senses need to be purified. And designation has to be destroyed. So this is the definition of devotional service. This we will discuss after 2-3 days. It's called Rishikesh Sevanam Bhakti Uchyate. Sarvopadi Vinurmuktam. This is the definition which we will discuss. So Prabhupada has put all these things in a small nutshell. Okay, then senses are purified, then senses engage, and then we'll get relish, and there are 12 rasas, the last part. Now the third portion is starting from the basic principle of living condition. This is the third part of the preface. Loving propensity. Is it clear? Now we are going to the...
Sorry Prabhu, what was the second part called?
What is second part called?
Yeah, like the first one was brief history.
And second was the definition of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Okay, yeah. And
definition of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Third one is Krishna consciousness, perfection of living, loving propensity.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
This is right here. Right, this is here. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So where is this in your preface that if you can write, then you can know? Now we are here. The basic principle of living condition is that we have a general propensity to love someone. No one can live without loving someone else. This propensity is present in every living being, even an animal like a tiger. So this is, but the missing point, however, is where to repose our love so that everyone can become happy. So this point is missing. At the present moment, the human society teaches one to love his country, family, or his personal self, but there is no information where to repose the loving propensity so that everyone can be happy. That is missing point is Krishna. And the Nectar of Devotion teaches us how to stimulate our original love for Krishna and how to be situated in that position where we can enjoy our blissful life. In a primary stage of child loves the parent, then brother, sister, and then family, then society, community, country, nation, and the whole human society. This slide which is on the screen is teaching is first self, then family, then country, then humanity. But until unless it reaches to the Krishna, it will never be satisfied. So expanding loving propensity. But the loving propensity is not satisfied even by loving all human society. That loving propensity remains imperfectly fulfilled until we know who is the Supreme Beloved. Our love can be fully satisfied only when it is reposed in Krishna. This theme is sum and substance of nectar of devotion. What is the sum and substance of nectar of devotion? What is the sum and substance of nectar of devotion?
Our love can be fully satisfied only when it is reposed in Krishna.
Yes. Our loving propensity expand. Now this, based on this one word, this slide is made. Our loving propensity expands just like vibration of light or air expands. But we do not know where it ends. Nectar of devotion teaches us the science of loving every one of the living entity perfectly by the easy method of loving Krishna. And then Srila Prabhupada quotes two examples. We have failed to create a peace and harmony in the human society even after making a UNO. The method is very simple, but one has to understand it with a cool head. Nectar of devotion teaches us all men how to perform the simple and natural method of loving Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we learn how to love Krishna, then it's very easy to immediately simultaneously love every living being. It's like pouring water on the root or putting food in the stomach. This is a verse from Bhagavatam. This is a quote from Bhagavatam. Nischena tarora mula. This is a verse of fourth canto somewhere. It's a very famous verse, you can find out. Right? So nectar of devotion will teach us how to turn. This is very important line. This is important line in the sense that by loving Krishna we can love everybody. So nectar of devotion will teach us how to turn the one switch that will immediately brighten everything, everywhere. One who does not know this method is missing the point of life. As far as material necessities are concerned, the human civilization at present moment is very much advanced in living comfort, but still we are not happy because we are missing the point. The material comfort of the life alone will never satisfy us. It's not sufficient to make us happy. And the vivid example is America. The youth is frustrated. That's what Prabhupada's personal experience of the hippie movement. I am appealing herewith to such confused men of the America to learn the art of devotional service as directed in Nectar of Devotion. And I am sure that the fire of material existence burning within the heart of will be immediately extinguished. The root cause of our dissatisfaction is our dormant loving. The root cause of our dissatisfaction is important also line. Very important line. Is that our dormant loving propensity has not been fully fulfilled despite our great advancement in materialistic way of life. The Nectar of Devotion will give us practical hint how we can live in this material world, perfectly engage in devotional service and thus fulfill all our desires in this life and the next. Nectar of Devotion is not prepared to condemn any way of materialistic life, but the attempt is to give information to religionists, philosophers, and the people in general how to love Krishna. One may live without material discomfiture, but at the same time he should learn the art of loving Krishna. At present moment, we are inventing so many ways to utilize our propensity to love, but factually we are missing the real point, Krishna. We are watering all parts of the tree, missing the root. We are putting food everywhere except in the stomach. Missing Krishna means missing oneself also. This analogy is very good. This is an analogy. Now see the analogy, okay? Missing Krishna means missing oneself. Analogy is, for example, seeing oneself in the morning means seeing the sunrise also. So sun is compared to Krishna. So if we know Krishna, then we know ourselves also. Without seeing the sunshine, no one can see himself. Simply, unless we has realized Krishna, there is no question of self-realization. Nectar of devotion is specifically presented for persons who are now engaged in Krishna conscious movement. I beg to offer my, then Prabhupada is offering his dedication to his dear devotee, disciple Jayanand Prabhu, who is famous for the Rath Yatra cart making and Rath Yatra. He donated $5,000 for this book at that time. And then we are going to the next slide. You can see here, loving propensity. This is what we have read is in a point way. The loving propensity is general, principle for living condition. Missing point is Krishna. Only by loving Krishna can we be happy. Our love can be fully satisfied only when it is reposed in Krishna. By loving Krishna, we can love everyone. Loving Krishna is the right way to bring peace and harmony in the world. Example is watering the root of the tree. Eternal engagement in Bhakti Rasa. What does Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu teach? Now this is a topic. Some microphone is open. Can somebody, Vijendra Nandar, you mute that? What does Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu teach? This is a question. It teaches eternal engagement in Bhakti Ras, number 1. Number 2, how to stimulate our original love for Krishna in 5 different mellows and enjoy blissful life. How to turn on the switch that will immediately brighten everything and everywhere. Practical hint of how to live in a material world perfectly engaged in devotional service and thus fulfill our desire in this life and the next. These are the different teachings of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. And now the last slide of this section. For whom is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu meant? For those who are confused and frustrated in life, and for especially for the persons who are now engaged in Krishna conscious movement. This was our question in the first slide. Why did Rupa Goswami prepare Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu? Why did he prepare Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu? Eternal engagement in the Bhakti Ras, how to stimulate our original love for. This is the purpose. He wrote Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu for this purpose. How to turn one switch immediately and bright every day. So here ends our today's discussion. So now you have any question or comment? Tomorrow we will start its introduction. And introduction will continue for at least 2 classes. But I am requesting in introduction you memorize one verse, which is also in your curriculum. This is the verse. Now verse is on the screen. Can you see the verse? You may not be able to memorize, no problem, but you write this verse in some piece of paper and keep with you for memorizing. Oh, sorry, not this verse. Sorry. Oh, I have put a wrong verse.
Anukulena.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'll just giving you verse. Anyway, I think tomorrow we'll not reach to the verse. This is the verse. Well, tomorrow we'll not be able to reach to the verse. Now, this verse will be next week. But anyway, you have this verse with you. Anya abhilashita sunyam jnana karma dhyanavritam anukolyena Krishna no silanam bhaktir uttama. So anyway, today we have finished the preface. Tomorrow we will start introduction, which will take maybe 2 classes at least, or 3, because that is the most important. By now, preface, what we have discussed is Srila Prabhupada's own personal sort of introduction to the Nectar of Devotion. The introduction which we are going to start tomorrow is actually is called the first wave of eastern side of Nectar of Devotion, first wave. So we will discuss tomorrow how many waves are there in a Eastern Ocean. That we will discuss tomorrow. Today only we have completed preface. Any question or comment? You have anything? Yes.
I have a small question. Prabhuji, once when a devotee has tasted this Bhakti Rasa, is there a possibility that the devotee will again find taste in the mundane Rasa?
If he has not reached to the stage of at least bhav, then there is a chances he will have taste for the mundane Rasa. Because in a sadhan he can be distracted, yes. Only the one who has at least one who has crossed the stage of nishtha, there is a very least chance. But at least you can see there is many great changes are in the devotees by simply when they start they have give up most mundane rasas, but some subtle will still continue. Yes, until unless we are not able to awaken our love of God, the mundane ras can attract us. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Till 19th chapter, this is Western wave we are going to do.
We are doing Eastern wave. This will.
Eastern.
Tomorrow we will see what are the not wave. It's an Eastern side, Western side, Southern and Northern side. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ocean has 4 sides. Of the 4 sides, we are doing the Eastern side. And Eastern side in itself has 4 waves. So tomorrow we will start the first wave. I can, if you want, I can just show you what are the sides and all this. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Now you can see. Now I am just answering still Gopi's question. See, in this chart, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu has 4 parts: Eastern Ocean, Southern Ocean, Western Ocean, Northern Ocean. The Eastern Ocean, variety of devotional service, Bhagavad Bhakti Bhed. This is Eastern Ocean's name is variety of devotional service called Bhagavad Bhakti Bhed, and it has 4 waves. Wave number 1, wave number 2, wave number 3, wave number 4. So, Samanya Bhakti is wave number 1, which in our book Nectar of Devotion has overview of devotional service, introduction plus chapter 1. So introduction plus chapter 1 of our book Nectar of Devotion is wave number 1 of eastern side, and this is called Samanya Bhakti. Is it okay? Now next question.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, Bhakti Ras Amrit and Bhakti Ras Amrit Sindhu Bindu, these are two different books?
Oh, these are the commentaries on Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Bindu by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Jiva Goswami. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Bindu. Bindu means a drop, means they are. This is a commentary. There are two commentaries available on Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. One is of Jiva Goswami, which is very elaborate, and the other one is by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. That is, I think, Rasi Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Bindu. Anybody of you have the book Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu with verses by Bhanu Swami? It is in 2 volumes.
Yes, Prabhu, I have.
If anybody have, this will be like more verses with meaning and with commentaries. But it's too elaborate, but it will give you insight if you have time to read. Then you can see what is where in our book. Anybody else has one other book which is a sort of summary study on Nectar of Devotion it's called Waves of Devotion by Dhanurdhar Swami? No? Well, that is like more simplified Nectar of Devotion connected with Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, easy to understand, like a guide. Okay, these slides which are given to you is actually made by Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Maharaj, and they are almost 19 chapters, a complete overview of this section. This will give you very easy understanding of the things. Are you also referring something else for a study of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu or Nectar of Devotion? The best lectures given are by Giriraj Swami in the beginning of the VIHE on Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Giriraj Swami's classes, lectures in the beginning on this subject, which are on VIHE audio, are very nice. And also Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Maharaj's lecture, which are both in Hindi and English. I don't think they are in VIHE audio, but they are available on ISKCON Desire Tree. They are the two best ones. Any other question about preface? The most important thing you have to remember is what is the definition of Rasa. Well, this is not in your curriculum how the Rasa is produced. This is in a next portion. Southern Way, I think, which is the next one. Chapter 20 onward is called Which Way? Part 2, Transcendental Mellows. But I will give you a glimpse actually. Well, tomorrow when we discuss, there are 5 rasa. You all know these 5 primary rasa. Everybody know 5 primary rasa? Neutrality, servitude, friendship, parenthood, and conjugal. You know all this? This is called basic rasa. When these basic rasa are the base mellows, they are mixed with 4 more things. One is called stimulus, one is called voluntary emotion, one is called involuntary emotion, and one is called different emotions. When they mix all together, they produce rasa. So I'm just now telling you the technical names. Sthai bhava. Sthai bhava means basic mellow. Say for example servitude or friendship, sakharas. The stimulant is called vibhava. 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 V-I-B-H-A-V-A. Vibhava. And then voluntary action is called anubhava. Vibhav, anubhav. And then this, you know this word, ashta satvik bhav. Satvik bhav means in the body there is a dancing, sweating, hands stand on ants, hair standing on ants. These are different bhava. These are involuntary, automatically. So vibhav, anubhav, satvik bhav, they are called satvik bhav, which means involuntary emotions or actions, involuntary actions, tears coming. Then the fifth one is called sanchari bhava. Different emotions, almost 33 type of different emotions. Sanchari bhava. When all these 5 bhava, sthai bhav, vibhav, anubhav, satvik bhav, sanchari bhav, they are mixed together, then they produce rasa. So for rasa to manifest, there is a need of these 5 things. We have this these slides. At least tomorrow I will try to find out the slide and put this for your understanding. Well, it is not in your, it is not for your examination. So don't get confused, but you know how the rasa is produced. Rasa is produced in our Isho Upanishad. There was something like that we discussed. No. Okay. Sthai bhav, vibhav, anubhav, satvik bhav, sanchari bhav.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
This last one that you said, isn't it Vaibhichari bhav or?
Both are. They are alternative. Sanchari or Vaibhichari. Sanchari or Vaibhichari bhav. Right. Okay. So I think today's class is over. Tomorrow we'll start introduction. And tomorrow we may be able to do the first part of the introduction. That is Mangalacharan.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Yes.
The first one which you said, the Sthaiva Bhava, that is basic mellow, is it the first 5 basic rasas you mean?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, just now you recommend some books, 2 books, yeah?
Well, if really you want to see the more detail about this subject matter, then original Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is translated by Bhanu Swami, and it is available in ISKCON. There is more than enough in itself.
Bhanu Swami, yeah?
Bhanu Swami, right.
Okay, Bhanu.
And the other one is called Waves. It's called Waves by Dhanurdhar Swami. Well, that is a one small book. I mean, it's a one like similar, of same size as Nectar of Devotion, but it is more like a guide book which can break up everything and teach what is in Nectar of Devotion in one page number this, and what is in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, how they correlate. It is more like more understanding. So these two books will help. Otherwise, what we are going to tell you, that if somebody really work on that, then it can be compiled as a book itself. If somebody can, all these lectures, if you compile, it will be book in itself. And if this group is good enough, then we can really, all these audio can transcribe and we can edit and make something. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.